All right, everybody, what is up? Apparently, Henry Cavill just made the announcement that he will no longer be returning as Superman, and James Gunn also talked about his plans for the future of the Superman character. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, so this is what Henry Cavill put on his Instagram. I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. So this is wild. I mean, but honestly, I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it. Also, like I said in my description, I feel like this news is kind of like, oh, okay, like, damn, it's happening. But to me, it's not that shocking when you think about it. Remember what I said in my previous video on recent DC news. If you want to watch that video, the link is in my description. But I said that it felt like The Rock and Henry Cavill and their management company, because they have the same management company, might have been jumping ahead of DC executives when they were announcing certain things. If you remember from that video, The Hollywood Reporter said this: The Rock hoped to carve out his own piece of the DC pie, but multiple sources say his playing up of a returning Henry Cavill and his own involvement with DC may not be endearing him to new management. But yeah, in that video, I was just saying that it felt like DC was still deciding what they were trying to do with the Superman character. And so for The Rock and Henry Cavill or whatever to be making an announcement, I thought that he was on board. I was making an announcement. I was like, oh shit, okay. I was making a video about his announcement, rather. And I was like, oh shit, okay, they're back on board. But now, having read the articles and having done the research and stuff, it felt like The Rock was really, they were pushing with all this Black Adam and Superman stuff. It felt like they were pushing something and they got it done, right? But it still felt like DC was trying to decide what they wanted to do with this Superman character. Now, let's just pull up these tweets from James Gunn, okay? After this announcement was made, James Gunn said, Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year. Among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. But we just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans, and we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. So James Gunn was asked, being part of the slate, I assume it's a movie. Of course, it's a movie. He's writing and they don't know who is directing just yet. And which is, to me, this is one of the most exciting things to hear, because James Gunn was asked, is it going to be an origin movie? Like, is it an origin story? Like, and he said, no way. And I'm so happy, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. By this point, like, everybody, let's move away from the goddamn origin movies, origin stories in comic book movies. By this point, everybody know who's who. Like, oh my God, we are so tired. We are so tired. Everybody knows who's who. We know how they got their powers. We know that their parents were killed in a fucking alleyway, and instead of going to therapy, they put on a goddamn costume and started beating up weed dealers in the goddamn city. Like, we just know, girl. We know the stories. I'm so glad that it's not an origin. So apparently they were talking about Ben Affleck directing and stuff. So that's a very interesting development. So I think, just based off of what we're seeing, because Wonder Woman 3 is looking like it's not happening. Obviously, Man of Steel 2 is not happening. Aquaman is out. That's what it's giving, right? So to me, what it's looking like is that they wiping the slate clean. And I'm just like, as frustrating as it might be to some people, I think that this is something that definitely needs to happen. Wipe the slate clean, because all this shit is an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess. Just get rid of all these things and start over. I think it's a really cool idea to go back to when Clark was a little bit younger. And for it not, like I said, for it not to be an origin story, I think that's very interesting. Like, he already got his powers. We don't have to watch him learn how to use his powers, watch him learn himself for the fucking 10th time. Like, girl, he already knows who he is. He's working. He has to deal with some issues. He has to fight some villains. Let's just see that, right? I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm sorry, like, I just do. This is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Since assuming their new roles, Gunn and Safran have been taking meetings with other key players in the DC universe. In addition to Cavill, they recently met with Batman actor Ben Affleck to discuss the possibility of him directing for them in the future, according to sources familiar with the conversation. No deal is in place for Affleck to helm a DC feature at this stage. They also had conversations with filmmaker Patty Jenkins, who no longer will be moving forward with a third Wonder Woman film. Warner's has also been developing a Black Superman film written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and produced by J.J. Abrams. And Gunn's new movie is said to not have an impact on that project, with Coates still working on the script. Now, here is what I think about y'all doing a Black Superman. Oh my gosh. And I say this as a whole entire Black person. I am annoyed a little bit, just because this shit better be good. That's all I'm saying. I just think that you gonna get the racists riled up for no reason by making a Superman Black. And I'm definitely all for pissing off racists. Like, that's what we do. I don't give a fuck about their ass. But what I'm saying is that y'all have so many Black characters that I'm like, y'all don't have to make Superman Black. I just wish y'all poured energy into the Black characters that y'all have already at DC, right? And make them everything, make them good, make the stories good, right? So I know that y'all are already doing a Jon Stewart thing for HBO, right? So that's fine, because Jon Stewart is the best Green Lantern. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all could give justice to Cyborg, and don't just make him say booyah every fucking 5 minutes, especially after the bullshit that y'all put Ray Fisher through. Y'all could give us that. Y'all could bring in Aqualad, since y'all getting rid of Jason Momoa. Give us Static Shock. Give us a good Static Shock. I don't know, a good live action. I'm not talking about no CW quality show, bitch. Or movie. Give us a good Static Shock. I mean, y'all could even put respect on Vixen's name. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, if y'all gonna do a Black Superman, okay, do a Black Superman, whatever. But like, it's just so many other Black characters in DC that y'all don't have to, like, you see what I'm saying? It's just like, y'all gotta put some respect on y'all Black characters y'all already got. So I don't know, but I'm interested to see what that's gonna, like, what this Black Superman movie or whatever, if it's even gonna be greenlit or released or whatever, especially with what Warner Brothers doing right now. I saw an article saying that they wanted like another $800 million to $1 billion in tax write-offs. They pulling Westworld and all type of shows off of these streaming services. So I mean, if the shit even gets released, it'll be interesting to see what y'all do with it. But I'm just saying, like, y'all have so many Black characters to choose from. So let's continue with The Hollywood Reporter. Warner's has long wanted Gunn to tackle a Superman movie. In 2018, after Gunn departed Marvel Studios for DC when he was temporarily fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Warner's studio pushed for Gunn to take on Superman. Gunn opted to write and direct The Suicide Squad instead. That movie also paved the way for Peacemaker, the HBO Max spinoff starring John Cena, as we all know, and gave Gunn a taste of world building in the DC universe. Still, Superman has long been a favorite for Gunn, who has been thinking about this new movie since his early days at DC 4 years ago. So yeah, I don't know. I know this news is probably upsetting to a lot of people, and they're just like, oh my God, Henry Cavill, like, he is Superman. It's just like, yes, he is Superman. I understand that, and he did a good job. And I know he must be annoyed after leaving The Witcher, like, God damn. Henry, go back to The Witcher. Go back to The Witcher! Go back to The Witcher! And get those whack-ass writers and shit that you can't stand, or the showrunners on The Witcher. Hopefully you can get their ass out of there, or somebody get their ass out of there so you feel more comfortable, because one of the reasons why, apparently, or it's being reported that one of the reasons why Henry Cavill left The Witcher is because some of the showrunners were not respecting the source material. So I hope that, you know, I don't know if you can fix that issue, if you can get some of those people out of there so that you can feel more comfortable in The Witcher on set. I really want him to go back, like I really do. But either way, I think that this is a very good idea for DC to start the slate. Just start clean, wipe the slate and start over, because what y'all doing right now don't make no goddamn sense. I'm telling you, hire different actors, focus on different characters until you can get the shit together, and then circle back around. But yeah, like I said, I know people will be annoyed, disappointed, but I think if they carried on with the same characters, the same actors, the same story, it would not be giving. It would not be giving. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Gunn and Safran are cooking up for the Superman character, and also for the future of DC. But I think this is a step in the right direction. I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm sorry, like I know it might be jarring, but just given what we've seen DC do, like, they have to start over. They have to, and they know that. So I'm glad they're doing it. So yeah, let me know what you think about this news. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will check y'all out later.